The sirens were still echoing through the shattered corridors when Commander Ralvek realized the cub was still alive. Smoke curled through the vents of the ruined transport, sparks leaping from broken panels like angry insects. The fleet's bombardment had been merciless. The humans had landed on Tivarn 9 only hours ago, and the Predator Dominion had unleashed its full response. To Ralvek, humans were prey. Cunning, stubborn prey. But prey nonetheless. Yet in this broken ruin of steel and fire, it was a human that crouched over his dying child, shielding it with their frail body. The human's name was Lieutenant Aria Voss. Her armor was cracked, visor shattered, face smeared with soot and blood. One hand gripped a sidearm that barely had a charge left. The other cradled the predator cub, its obsidian fur matted with ash. The child whimpered in its alien tongue, clicking sounds full of fear. Ralvek froze, unsure whether to raise his weapon or his voice. "Stay back," Arya rasped. "He's scared." Her words were calm, but her body trembled from exhaustion. Behind her, the ground shuddered again, the fleet's orbital guns sweeping the battlefield. Through the smoke, Ralvek saw something he could not comprehend. A human protecting a predator child. "You would defend him?" Ralvek growled, stepping closer, his claws flexing. "That cub's blood is the reason your colony burns." Arya's lips twitched into a faint, grim smile. "He's just a kid," she said. "You think I care whose side he was born on?" The words hit Ralvek harder than a plasma bolt. He had seen humans fight before, savage, desperate, resourceful. But never like this, never against his own fleet. He knelt slowly, his massive form casting a shadow over her. "The bombardment will resume in minutes," he said. "The fleet does not spare survivors." "Then help me get him out," Arya said. No hesitation, no fear. Ralvek stared at her, at the trembling human who had every reason to hate his kind. Something old stirred in his chest, something buried beneath years of warfare and duty. The instinct of a parent. With a low growl, he deactivated his weapon. "Follow me," he said. They moved through the shattered remains of the colony together, predator and prey, side by side. The fleet's drones prowled above, hunting for heat signatures. Twice, Ralvek pulled Arya behind fallen debris, covering her with his armored bulk as the machines passed overhead. Each time she whispered to the cub, soothing it, keeping it quiet. Ralvek watched her lips move, and realized her voice carried something his kind had forgotten long ago. Compassion. When they reached the canyon rim, the escape tunnels yawned below, leading into the rock. But a gunship had landed there first. Its engines roared, blue plasma washing the ground in fire. Ralvek hissed a curse. "The fleet is purging survivors." Arya looked at him, eyes bloodshot but steady. "Then we make them stop." Before he could protest, she darted forward, dropping behind a rock formation. She slotted a power cell from her ruined suit into her sidearm, a desperate move that would overcharge it. "Cover me," she said. Ralvek wanted to laugh, this frail human ordering him around, but he couldn't. Not after seeing the way she held the cub, the way she looked at death as though it were just another problem to solve. He roared and stepped into the open, drawing fire from the gunship's cannons. Plasma tore into his armor, searing flesh, but he stood his ground, hurling a spear of crackling energy into its hull. At the same moment, Arya rose and fired her pistol. The overcharged blast struck the ship's intake, and the explosion ripped the gunship apart in a bloom of blue fire. When the dust settled, Ralvek was on one knee, breathing raggedly. Arya stumbled to him, clutching the cub, and pressed a hand to his arm. "You're not dying on me," she said. Ralvek gave a rumbling laugh. Humans. Always giving orders. The tunnels were dark and narrow, echoing with distant thunder from the bombardment above. Arya carried the cub until her arms trembled. Then Ralvek took it, his claws surprisingly gentle. They walked in silence, both too tired to speak. Finally, the tunnel opened into a cavern lit by glowing fungi, the kind the predators used for night hunts. Ralvek lowered the cub beside a pool of clear water. The child blinked up at Arya and made a soft chittering noise. Ralvek translated quietly. "He says you smell strange." Arya chuckled weakly. "He's not wrong." Ralvek watched her, and then softly he said, "You saved my son." "No human would have done that." Arya met his gaze. "Maybe not every human. But maybe that's the point." For a long moment they just listened, to the sound of the distant bombardment fading, to the soft breathing of the cub. Ralvek realized something then. The war was not about survival anymore. It was about understanding what survival meant. When the fleet's patrols finally found the wreckage above, they assumed no one could have lived. By then, Arya and the cub were far beyond their scanners, hidden deep beneath the world's surface. Ralvek stayed behind, wounded, to mislead the searchers. His last act before vanishing from the fleet's records was transmitting a false report. All prey eliminated. Years later, legends would spread of a human who crossed the wastes of Tavarn 9 with a predator child at her side, raising it as her own. Of a soldier who believed mercy was stronger than blood. And somewhere among the stars, the cub grew into a leader who remembered the lesson of a dying world, that sometimes the most dangerous creature in the galaxy was the one that chose to protect instead of destroy.